Hi everyone, Joe here. How are you? Welcome back to my Fall 2019 Decorate With Me series. Today I'm going to be in the formal living room showing you how I did what I did in here. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Joe, and you'll often hear me talk about my wife, Marianne, and we love to do seasonal decorating. And if you don't want to miss anything coming up, especially with the holidays coming up, please consider subscribing to my channel. It is free, and put on the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Drop me a comment, give me a thumbs up, and that would be really, really great. I appreciate it. Just some answers to some frequently asked questions that people have been asking me. Yes, I am of Italian heritage. How can you not tell with this schnazzola I have here? And I not related to Sylvester Stallone, although how great would that be? Do I really look like Al Pacino? Have you seen him lately? Ooh. And I guess I can sound like Joe Pesci at times. I forget. And, like, Your Honor, these two youths, they did nothing. I guess I could sound like that if I had to. And I am not an artist per se. I do consider myself an artist, but not, what a real artist would be. I do not have any formal training in interior design. Actually, I have two master's degrees, and one of them is in biology, and I taught nursing students at the college level, and I also taught advanced placement biology and honors biology at the high school level for many, 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 many years. So those are just some quick questions that people have been asking of me. I know how to do this kind of stuff because I come from a very artistic family. We were always encouraged to draw and to paint and to play musical instruments and to express ourselves through that way, and of course express ourselves through keeping the house in order, fixing it, doing work outside, doing work inside, and cleaning. And so that's basically where it all comes from. I just keep my eyes open wherever I am all the time, and I get inspiration from many, many, many different places. And that's why also, if you would like to, follow me on Facebook as Designs by Joe, and you can share some of the things that you do with me so that I can see what you've been doing also and become inspired by that as well. So, okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this little video. It's just a little bit of what I did in this room, and I'll be seeing you really soon. Bye-bye. Okay, so I'm in the formal living room today, and I think this is going to be a pretty quick fix because I did a lot of the pieces for this room in anticipation of working in here. But what I did do so far is I have these two topiaries on each side of the fireplace. I think you saw that, and I just put in, if you saw that video, I put in some white and amber lights, and I just put in some colored leaves, and I filled it up with pine cones. I'll go closer later, but for some reason my camera keeps zooming in and out, and I'm trying not to move so we don't get a big blur. And up on the top there, those were twinkling icicle lights, and I covered the light bulbs with blue painter's tape, and I painted the cord orange, and then I hot glued those leaves to there. And again, I'll link that video down below, so for those of you that may have missed that, you'll be able to see how I did that. So here's a close-up view of these topiaries. So you can see what I did was I just added some leaves in. Actually, it's the most of it is the leaf vine, and then I did add a few clumps here and there, and then I just wired in some pine cones onto the entire tree, and then I wrapped it with some of the grapevine just to give it a little bit of dimension. Not much. I mean, I tried not to go overboard. It's just supposed to be a subtle thing. So what we're going to be doing right now is going to be working on this mantle. My idea for this mantle was to do something a little bit different. Instead of doing the garland across the whole top of the mantle like I usually do, and the wreath above the top of the mirror like I usually do, I wanted to do something a little bit different. And we were recently at a wedding, and I was inspired by the mantle that was in the reception hall, and it had a beautiful arrangement in the middle of the mantle, and it made such a big statement that I thought, I think that's what I might be doing for the formal living room. Again, I made this piece a while back. I had the video how I did that. I'll link that below, and you can see what my idea was. I used this really pretty vessel. It looks like a tarnished copper, and we have the pumpkins in there. And then what I wanted to do was I wanted to the piece almost meet the leaves at the top so that it would encompass the entire area within the middle of the mantle. Let me back up and show you that. All right, so from back here, you can see how those pumpkins that are on those picks, those big picks, they're almost meeting the top where the leaves are. There's a little closer view of that. Okay, so next up is these topiary candles that I made, and I like the ones I did in the dining room so much, I did them for here. So what I did was I have the candle holder right here on the bottom, and then I took one of the blocks, the styrofoam blocks from the Dollar Tree, and I measured the circle, where the candle sits in this holder, and then I cut that out so that the block just sits on it. I didn't glue it because I want to use these again, not in the fall. So it just sits in there because I cut out the hole in the styrofoam. So it's sitting right in there and it's nice and sturdy. I then took one of those Dollar Tree carvable pumpkins and I painted it this burgundy color, and I put polyurethane on it so that it's nice and shiny. And then I used a toothpick in the styrofoam up into the pumpkin so that it holds it nice and tight. And then I cut a hole in the top of the pumpkin and I put my candle in there. So that is those topiaries that I'm going to put up now. Okay, so there are the candlesticks. Okay, and so I added 2 more candlesticks on each side of the centerpiece, and I added just some leaves on it, and that's it. I'm not adding anything else. I'm not putting leaves on the mantle itself. I'm not putting any more florals in there. I'm not doing that at all. I think that is a pretty big statement right there, and it is sufficient. I just have to think now what I'm going to put down at the bottom. Let me think about that a second. So I wanted to bring that same idea in here with the grapes. So I put them in there in the fireplace, but I don't know. I went outside to cut the lawn, and when I came back in, it just doesn't look right to me. So I think I'm going to change out that basket. I think that's might be what's bothering me. Okay, so I switched it out to this, and I think it looks way more Tuscan with that urn like that. And then I used Christmas garland along the bottom. You can see on both sides, like trailing out of there, and it hides the wire that's going over. Although I see a little one there, right, I have to fix. And then I put the grapes in there. And I'm not going to put leaves in here because I don't want to compete with everything else that's going on around here. All right, so I lifted up the glass on the coffee table here, and I just put leaves underneath the glass, which helps me out because they don't, move all over the place, and it's easier to, to clean the table and stuff. And then we have this, I don't know what you call it, like a dish here, and it's in the shape of a leaf, and it has the brown and the greens in it. And I just put a piece of the garland in there, and then I added some a white pumpkin, a burgundy pumpkin that I painted, the orange one, and then some of these burgundy daisies, these orange mums, and some of the leaves and so on. And then I have this ginger jar here, and I have this pitcher right here, which I thought looked Tuscan as well. So kept it really, really simple because there's so much other stuff going on. I just don't, I don't want it to be just one clutter after another, and I can't stand visual clutter. Even though I like a lot of stuff, I can't stand visual clutter. So, especially with the grapes right behind there, and everything is in a line in this room, so it can get cluttered looking right away. All right, so then next thing up is to change the pillows and also to change these window treatments. This is that same vase that I just showed you, the black one. And what I did was I wanted it to look more Tuscan. So what I did was I painted it beige first. I can't remember what the name of the exact color is. And then I used that stencil again. I'm getting a lot of mileage out of that stencil, the one I did the book, the one I did the lampshades, and so on. And some of it, because of the funky angles on this, I had to do it by hand. And then I went in with burgundy and I just put those red dots in there. So it has a way more Tuscan look. And then what I did was I just used branches from the yard and I hot glued on the um, the leaves, and it's a very big dramatic piece right in the corner. So here it is from the other angle. So you can see it goes up about 9 feet up. So and it's on this pedestal, and it has a way more Tuscan look than that black that it was. Okay, so I'm going to try to give you an overview of the room of what I've done in here without this getting too blurry because it keeps wanting to get out of focus. Anyway, here is that black vase again that I painted, and I tried to make it look more Tuscan looking, and I added in the branches from the yard, and I just hot glued on some of the leaves to give it some of the fall color. And then for those of you that were really observant, you noticed I added to the window treatments, I put a sheer behind the burgundy shears, and it's the same color as the wall. It's like a Navajo white, and it just didn't look right, so I added a little bit more to that. Up in the round top window there, I have a Tuscan looking bowl there, and I put in some pine cones and some of the acorns that I made. It's a little difficult to see with the sun coming through, and some leaves. And then on this wall sconce here, I just did a couple of candle holders with some green candles with leaves on them and a pine cone. And then I repeated the same thing over here in this window. And for tiebacks, I actually used just some uh, vine with some leaves on it. The couches, we have the velvet pillows, the plaid burgundy, and the greens, and the gold, and then the gold, and then the burgundy with the hunter green throw, and then the the plate with some leaves, a picture, and another pine cone right there. And then the topiaries here with the leaves and all covered with pine cones. And down inside the firebox, the that great urn right there with some garland coming out of it, and then the grape lights to light that up. And then on the mantle itself, my topiaries for the candles, and then the centerpiece that I made, the twinkling lights up on top of the mirror. And then I repeated that. There is another one right there, another one of those trees. And then the same thing over here on this end table. Because the room is so symmetrical, I kind of repeated it slightly different. And then on this side, same pillows, different arrangement with a burgundy throw. And then on the coffee table, the ginger jar, and then that ancient looking pitcher. And then once again, a little arrangement here with some pumpkins, pine cones, uh, fall florals, candle, and then under the glass of the table, the leaves. So that brings us to the end of my living room. And next up will probably be, I'll probably be moving into the family room. So, like always, I hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook at Designs by Joe. And as always, thank you to everyone that is always so supportive, and I do appreciate it, and I'll be seeing you really soon. Okay, take care.